Morning, all. All right, so as we approach the end of the season, I wanted to look at things a little bit different in today's preview. We got 6 games starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We got 14 games altogether. Tomorrow there are 0, and on Saturday there's 16. So it's 30 games over the next 3 days, but it's concentrated into 2 of those 3. So 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Columbus Blue Jackets in against the New Jersey Devils. Columbus 24, 45, and 8. So what I've done for today's video is I have looked at the top 2 scorers for every team since the 1st of January, so in this calendar year. Laine, still the leading scorer for Columbus this calendar year. 35 games, 13 goals, 23 assists, 36 points. Johnny Gaudreau, 40 games, 9 goals, 25 assists, 34 points. On the New Jersey side, they're 49, 21, and 8. Jack Hughes, 38 games, 20 goals, 30 assists, 50 points, again since the 1st of January. Dougie Hamilton, 42 games, 13 goals, 30 assists, 43 points for him. So Hamilton, career year for him this year, and they're currently 3 points ahead of the Rangers, whereas Columbus is number 2 in the lottery standing behind the Anaheim Ducks, who are still number 1 in terms of the draft lottery standing. Minnesota and Pittsburgh start at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific as well. On the Minnesota side, they're 44, 23, and 10. Matt Boldy's their leading scorer since the 1st of January with 18 goals and 15 assists for 33 points in 41 games. Eriksson Ek also has 33 points. However, it's 11 goals, 22 assists, also in 48 games. Of course, Minnesota tied with Colorado and Dallas atop the division. On the Pittsburgh side, they're 38, 30, and 10. They need this one tonight. Malkin, 42 games played since the 1st of January, 13 goals, 33 assists, 46 points. Crosby, almost an identical total, just 12 goals to go with 33 assists for 45 points for him. They are 1 point behind Florida and the New York Islanders for that playoff spot that's going to go to 2 of these 3 teams. Be interesting to see which ones. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Ottawa Senators in against those Florida Panthers. For the Sens, they're 6 points back of the Islanders, and they're hanging on by a string right now. They're 37, 34, and 7. Stützle, since the 1st of January, in 42 games, 25 goals, 28 assists for 53 points. Yeah, he's arrived. That's almost a 50-goal pace. Tkachuk, in 42 games, 22 goals, 19 assists, 41 points. That's pretty solid, too. On the Florida side, they are 40, 31, and 7. Tkachuk in 41 games since the turn of the calendar, 22 goals, 38 assists for 60 points. Barkov in 37 games, 11 goals, 34 assists, 45 points. And according to the Union, still the most underrated player in the league. So they're tied with the New York Islanders, and again, 1 point ahead of the Pittsburgh Penguins. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Toronto and Boston. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're 46, 21, and 10 overall. Marner, 39 games since the turn of the calendar, 14 goals, 39 assists, 53 points. Tavares, their number 2 scorer in 39 games, 18 goals, 24 assists, 42 points. They are 6 points ahead of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were down there. On the Boston side, they're 60, 12, and 5, so they're going for win number 61 tonight. Pastrnak, in 41 games since January 1st, has scored 31 goals, 22 assists, 53 points. That's pretty good. Marchand, in 40 games, 10 goals, 23 assists, 33 points. Also at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, we have the Washington Capitals and the Montreal Canadiens. Washington, 34, 34, and 9. They are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, and they're number 9 right now in the lottery standings. You can only move up 10 spots, so only cared about 1 through 11 on this. Strome, 37 games since the new year, 11 goals, 19 assists, 30 points to lead the team in scoring. Ovechkin, 32 games, 16 goals, 12 assists for 28 points. On the Montreal side, they're 30, 42, and 6 since the turn of the calendar. Nick Suzuki, their top scorer, in 41 games, 8 goals, 21 assists, 29 points. Mike Matheson, surprisingly the number 2 scorer, 34 games, 7 goals, 17 assists, 24 points. And Montreal is 5th in the lottery standings right now. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Buffalo and Detroit. Buffalo, 37, 32, and 7. Much like Ottawa, their hopes are hanging on by a string. They've played 2 less games than Ottawa, but it's still going to be pretty difficult. Thompson, 39 games played since the start of January, 17 goals, 22 assists, 39 points. Skinner, 42 games played since the start of January, 16 goals, 19 assists, 35 points for him. and of course between two ferns, which is excellent. And again, 6 points back of the New York Islanders. On the Detroit side, they're 35-33-9. They are number 11 in the draft lottery standings, so they have a chance at that number 1 draft pick, but is the slimmest chance of those 11. Larkin, 42 games played since January 1st, 18 goals, 26 assists, 44 points. Moritz Seider, 3 goals, 25 assists, 28 points, also in 42 games. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific start between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Islanders. For the Bolts, they're 45-27-6. Their top 2 scorers in this calendar year are Kucherov in 43 games, 16 goals, 38 assists, 54 points. And Braden Point, 43 games played for him as well, 27 goals, 25 assists, 52 points. Not too shabby. On the Islanders side, they're 39-30-9. Their leading scorer this calendar year is Brock Nelson, 41 games, 17 goals, 15 assists, 32 points. And Palmieri, 30 games, 9 goals, 13 assists, 22 points. They are again tied with Florida. They are 1 point ahead of Pittsburgh as that fight comes down to the final week of the season. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific start between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Nashville Predators. Carolina, of course, 50-18-9. They've reached 50 wins for, I think it's the 3rd time in their history. Aho, their leading scorer this calendar year in 41 games, 23 goals, 13 assists, 36 points. Natchez is number 2 at 13 goals, 21 assists for 34 points, also in 41 games. They are 3 points clear of the New Jersey Devils. So in the event that Nashville knocks off Carolina, New Jersey beats Columbus, which is possible, we could have a 1 point difference between 1 and 2 in that division. On the Nashville side, they're 39-30-8. They're 3 points back of Winnipeg, so probably quite grateful that Calgary won last night. Novak's their leading scorer since the 1st of January, and if you watch him, you get it. 40 games, 15 goals, 22 assists, 37 points. Yossi's second on the list in 32 games that he's played, 10 goals, 21 assists, 31 points. Also at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, the Rangers and the St. Louis Blues renew their rivalry. The Rangers 46-21-11. Zibanejad, since the turn of the calendar, 41 games, 23 goals, 24 assists, 47 points. That's pretty good. Panarin, 41 games, 17 goals, 30 assists, 47 points for him. And again, they're 3 points back of the Devils. On the St. Louis side, they're number 10 currently in the draft lottery standings. They're 36-35-7. It's not a 26, it should be a 36. 36-35-7. Buchnevich in 31 games since the turn of the calendar, 13 goals, 25 assists, 38 points. Silly entertainment guy. Kyrou, 41 games, 20 goals, 17 assists, 37 points for him. And again, they're 10th in the draft lottery standings. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, the Philadelphia Flyers in against the Dallas Stars. I almost wore Dallas for this one. I know I'm breaking the rules by wearing Vancouver, but they're not going to make the playoffs, so I have to wear Vancouver while I can. Philadelphia, 29-35-13 on the season. Morgan Frost's been their leading scorer since the turn of the calendar in 40 games, 12 goals, 17 assists, 29 points. Scott Lawton's right behind him in 40 games, 10 goals, 14 assists, 24 points. Currently, Philadelphia number 7 in draft lottery standings. Dallas, 42-21-14 overall. Robertson in 39 games in 2023 has 18 goals, 29 assists, 47 points. Heiskanen in 39 games has 6 goals, 33 assists, 39 points. That's not bad. And again, they're tied with Colorado and Minnesota. And then we get into the late games. At 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, the Chicago Blackhawks and the Vancouver Canucks. Chicago's number 3 in the draft lottery standings. Vancouver's number 8. We'll see how it goes tonight. Chicago 25-46-6 overall. Radish, 42 games, 10 goals, 13 assists, 23 points. He is the leading scorer amongst players who are still in Chicago. Max Domi is still their leading scorer in 2023, just he's been traded. Jones, 42 games, 9 goals, 14 assists, 23 points for Seth Jones. On the Vancouver side, they're 34-36-7. Pettersson in 41 games since the turn of the calendar, 20 goals, 33 assists, 53 points. He's on the verge of 100 points on the season. JT Miller, 40 games, 16 goals, 30 assists, 46 points. Should he stay? Right. Yep, that'll start the argument. And again, they're number 8 on the in the standings for the draft lottery, which isn't bad. I'd be fine with them drafting 8th. That's a pretty good spot. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between the LA Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights. For LA, they're 45-23-10 overall. Kopitar's been their leading scorer since the turn of the calendar. Act surprised. 38 games, 16 goals, 23 assists, 39 points. Kempe, 38 games, 22 goals, 13 assists, 35 points for him. They are 4 points back of Vegas. They are 3 points back of the Oilers. So being against Vegas, they can pull within 2 points, and they could do the Oilers a favor. Vegas, 48, 22, and 8 overall. Eichel's been their leading scorer this calendar year in 38 games. 14 goals, 21 assists, 35 points. Marchessault not far behind him in 37 games, 12 goals to go with 16 assists for 28 points. And again, 1 point clear of Edmonton, 4 points clear of LA. If you're an Oilers fan, you're cheering for the Kings tonight. If you're a Kings fan, you're kind of helping the Oilers if you win. I know, it's that time of year where things get really kind of weird. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, we have the Seattle Kraken hosting Arizona. Arizona 27, 38, and 13 on the season. Clayton Keller has been remarkable since the turn of the calendar. 43 games, 23 goals, 25 assists, 48 points. Schmaltz, 40 games played in that same period of time. 14 goals, 24 assists, 38 points. Currently, Arizona's number 6 in the standings for the draft lottery. Seattle, 43, 26, and 8. They can clinch a playoff spot with a win tonight. Considering the thrashing that they gave the Arizona Coyotes last time out, it's possible. Dunn has been their leading scorer this calendar year. He's had a very good season. I'm glad to see he's finally getting attention for it. 43 games, 9 goals, 35 assists, 44 points. More than a point per game in 2023. And McCann's not far behind, 43 games, 21 goals, 20 assists for 41 points. They are also 5 points clear of Winnipeg, a win tonight. They don't have to worry about being the number 2 wild card. Highly unlikely Winnipeg gets 7 points over the rest of the season. I think they have 4 games left. At any rate, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific start as well between Colorado and the San Jose Sharks. Colorado 46, 24, and 6. McKinnon, 41 games played in 2023. 28 goals, 38 assists, 66 points. And of course, he just reached 100 points in their last game. Rantanen, 41 games, 25 goals, 24 assists, 49 points. Colorado tied with Dallas, tied with Minnesota. On the San Jose side, they are 22, 39, and 16. Carlson leading the way in scoring for them in 2023. I know, everybody's surprised. 39 games, 9 goals, 36 assists, 45 points. Logan Couture's number 2 on the list in 39 games, 13 goals, 23 assists, 36 points. And San Jose, number 4 in the draft lottery standings for anybody who's paying attention and following along at home. They were number 1 not that long ago. Now they're number 4. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always, meaning let me know your picks. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And yep, there won't be a preview tomorrow, but there'll be a very large preview tomorrow night for Saturday's games. Because, again, 16 games. You'll notice there's 15 spots on this board. There had never been a 16-game night before this season. So, all right, I'll have to figure something out. I'll get that done, and then we'll do that preview tomorrow night. But for tonight, let me know your winners. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.